folks, let's get right to it on a Thursday. What's going on? Settling in. It is our Thursday edition here. Harmonic Pattern Collection podcast number 402. What's up? Great to see everybody. Settle on in and let's get to some relevant charts, harmonic patterns like NASDAQ right now. Still on this daily bat pattern, but we had something yesterday we probably need to talk about. Still in a type 1, but let's see what happens on this current consolidation from yesterday. Come on in, everybody. What's going on, chat? David, Kat, Echo, Lawrence. What's going on, guys? As you know, you get the software at HPC at sr-analyst.com. That's a TradingView username. That's all you need to send. Email it to my partner. We'll set you up for 2 weeks and then start digging into patterns like this. Still a type 1. Get the business out of the way right quick. And this is going to be the range 19,480 to 2609. Got to say also that we'll wrap up the quarter Monday into Tuesday, start second quarter, and then we're going to see what happens. Been a really lackluster 3-month start to the year. Yep, great to see everybody. What's up? If you guys, what do you want to look at? Put that in the chat. Start putting that into the chat. We'll load up. In the short term, like right this second, NASDAQ was down, then it was up, kind of having a nothing day here. Down 25. And I'm all right if it's not up. Just don't go down. 5-minute HSI signal, and check out what we had this morning. Couple of back-to-back 1-2. That's with extended hours. So that finished yesterday, last night, and gave you a double type 2 crab. Are we going to get the full retest of that crab? That might be a possibility. Just kind of throwing out some short-term levels today. 19,946. You're currently 20,085. A lot going on, and I'd even say like this. Where's the hourly on NASDAQ before I jump off of any other chart? We're really at this kind of pivotal 20K range, tight range point, filling a prior gap going back to the 23rd in the pre-market. Yeah, that works that way. And we're oversold, oversold here at 20K, and now with a bearish HSI at 20,130, that's your range. That's it right now. 19,900 to 20,002. That dictates what happens going into April. Yep, we'll get to that. We can get to that. Crypto, FET, a few others started nibbling. But it doesn't look like Bitcoin's ready to give it up just yet either. And big shout out to everybody who got to attend the course on Friday last week. Again, you can DM me in the Discord and get a link for that recording. Yeah, I've already handed out many. I'm not making it public, but on a request basis, you join the Discord. You DM me. It's not even in the. It's not in the free information on Discord. So hit that up over on the Discord. Chat is in the link. And final note about Discord: we will never solicit money, nor do we offer any kind of gift card promotions, anything like that. No solicitations in that thread. Basic thread on our Discord is free, and then if you want to subscribe to the gold membership or get to the premium for the active group, contact me directly. DM me directly if you've got questions. Anyway, let's move on. So NASDAQ's really in between here. I know a lot of people are looking for lower prices. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm looking for this thing to spend more time resolving the bat pattern. That would be okay. And this could be within 1,000-point range for all I care. But we do have a pattern. We do have a daily pattern. We have confirmation down there. Big stuff happened the last several days of the month, which is what needed to happen after really looking at over the edge. If you sent an email or anything, I will double check if it's not in my spam mail. But best place to DM me on Discord. If sometimes emails get kicked over to the spam or the trash, and I'm not looking in there for correspondence. Right now, here we go. NASDAQ's rolling over a little bit, 65. S&P was off 2, now down 13. 4-hour chart like that. I mean, obvious breakdown point. We're under 19.9. 19.9. We're in that range here. 19.9 to 20,600. So, and that should be the bottom for the quarter, if not the year. If we're looking for the return, I mean, the return's like this. Here we go. Go to QQQ. I mean, that's the big one. QQQ 487. Because that's target 1. Oh, that's 4-hour daily. There you go. What happened yesterday? We did get a counter HSI. There you go. So, okay, amplified did not kick up to the 50. That's going to be the trigger that has to happen to get this out of the hole. So yesterday, today, that pretty much needs to be just checking back, filling the gap. 462 is still absolute make or break on all of that. Yeah, I think they're going to try to throw this down. Net, we haven't seen. I mean, you go back, essentially, we're net zero now for March. February was a hard down. March, they took it down. They brought it back up, where we are relative to the month of March. Maybe you're down 5%, 3%, something like that. Probably 3%. So not a problem. I mean, net. If we had another February and we were below target 2 here, look out. So let it do its thing. 30 bars, kind of an assessment, like we're in the zone really since our dot. That's the bullish confirmation. And we can do it that way. I mean, the only thing that bothers me is that we have this counter dot, this counter signal. Hold on. There you go. So I'm going to respect that. We talked about that in the course and why these can be at least temporary kind of capping signs where if we don't do anything for a few more days, don't be surprised. If we break down, okay, I'll respect that. But still, the larger T2 level, 462, is still the make or break. Really, we kick up to time frames. And I'm thinking, what's the framework? QQQ, this is the big market, okay? This is big super tech. Where's the ideal sell situation? Would be back here, retest at 525. And I'm talking mega for the year. So I'm gonna keep an eye on what happens out of this hole, but I'm still going with framework. 482 currently, 525. It's now actually the same kind of a thing where when we were at 525 or even 537, like, geez, why aren't we seeing 487? Because that's supposed to be the target one objective. Does it want to blow through? Are we going to break out? Almost for like a second. But the breakout was above 540. But we were like 539 and change. 540.81 for about a minute. We got a dot and it was goodbye. So now let's see what happens here. The levels are clear. You know, it's not like we have to guess how far down. That should be it. And then 462.90 is your whole stop on that scenario. Yeah, we'll dive into that in a second. Yeah. Great to see you guys. Thanks. So that's something I think it was new for a lot of people. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it was relatively new, and for a lot of people to understand, oh, okay, that's how I look at it. Or, you know, of course, we have a pattern, and the patterns can look beautiful, but how does the pattern become a trade opportunity? And it's pretty much the dot at this point. So your target is not here first week of December. It's okay, no opportunity, no confirmation. Maybe there's something there 6 weeks later. That seems like a long time, but now HSI dot February 20, and that was 10 weeks later, which is kind of an extended abnormal situation, but we got confirmation. And in the same token, we're looking at this here currently. So let me come back to some of those tech in a second, because the thing that's really blowing my mind is gold. And I'm not really, but gold is something we have talked about for 2 or 3 years, and we are even dealing, even currently, with this beautiful bearish crab pattern. I think this is so strong, though. Just like the QQQ chart we were looking at, here's gold. Okay, probably the steadiest, strongest big market out of all of them, sans Bitcoin, in the last 2 years, 3 years. I mean, what a trend, what a move. 2,000 to 3,000, guys. But now we got the pattern, but where's the trade? You've got the pattern, you got the first signs of confirmation. Up today, gold futures were up, or still up, 70. We're up 80 plus. And so if that's going to be something for now, where's the sell opportunity? I'm not saying sell gold. I'm just saying how to read this to really pinpoint. It's not set up just yet for a sell opportunity. In fact, we can use the pattern and assume until we get confirmation or hop at 31.23, we're going to still move higher. Weekly time frames are higher, as we mentioned before. 33, 39 for something. Okay. My thought is that we could be bypassing. We get through this crab pattern no matter how we do it. And once we do, then we could see one of these pattern failures. So just an amazing move since January. 2,500 is nothing. Now we're a three handle, 3,000. But this would be the thing to look for. If gold's going to reach for the higher targets. Okay, because 3,300 has been what we've talked about all along. Can we get a pause reaction, something, get oversold, and then fail this? Because that whole 4K scenario begins above 31.23. And I would take I would think about it this way, okay? I have been saying for about 3 years that something is really up if gold could be moving like this. I was saying that at like 2100 because it kind of just ignored 2000. There really wasn't any reaction. And in fact, we busted through that. We were at 1800 a long time. We busted through that right at COVID and never retraced under 2K. And in fact, we had that follow through move. And I would think we're kind of doing the same follow through move where it wasn't 2K, it was 2400. So, and what does that say about paper assets? If gold's moving like this, okay, that means paper inflation, asset inflation is alive and well. It's alive and well. So I'm not really. I'm watching gold, but I'm just astounded that this is a phenomenal move here. And then the long-term projections. Remember, a lot of this was like 1618, 1902 of the monthly range. You got to go back to the all-time high from 1980, and that's relevant for sure. So bang there. The 1618, remember that was like 20 right there, 29, about 2900. And so sliced right on through. And the top side range is 1902. So we're looking for that. Once we get to like, it's 3200, 3280, call it 3300. And clearly it wants it now. You're going right through. So 3300's overspill range. We'll look for some kind of confirmation, but this trend is just, it's picking up steam where you would think it might finally start to get tired. Remarkable. Yeah, and so don't dismiss this move. If you're not following gold, I would. I mean, I've traded GLD before. I've bought gold stocks before. They were never really that lucrative. They were just slow, steady. Yeah, you get some moves, but they weren't huge winners. They weren't huge, kind of dead money a lot of the time. So what's going on now? Your all-time new highs. You're putting in some phenomenal year-over-year gains, and you're going on like, I don't think a lot of people realize. Okay, since this low back in 2015, it was I guess it was December 2015. You're coming up on a decade-long cycle, low to high, 10 years by the end of the year, where that was 1600. So I would think about that. I think gold typically leads to, and it's an early sign of asset inflation. You can go back to prior periods, even like post financial crisis. What's that mean? The financial crisis hit, gold dumped, and then rebounded and went to well beyond 1902. It was like, I think that was a 2618 advance off of the '08 financial crisis. Pretty sure that was 2618. 314. Sweet. 314, 2500. And then all the way back down, 618 level, actually 786. But my point being is that what happened following that run? It was just leaked into stocks. Paper assets is actually the better way to think about it. Same deal here. But we're so early in the process. So early in the process. 3,300. Then let's go with some big numbers. Okay, even that last cycle, 08 to 12, like that was a 4-year cycle to a 314. I mean, here you go. What's a 10-year cycle? 1902, right up, well, 1618's here. That's our 3000 mark, but that's not the all time. That's just 2008 cycle. But I would say, again, how do we get these higher numbers? We go parabolic off of the last retracement. Yeah, it's 3,900. Just measuring and applying the ratios, guys. I just want you to know, and you heard it. It's kind of like you heard it here first. Okay, and I'm putting this idea out here. There is nothing between 3,000 and 4,000 on gold. Nothing. I think maybe you hit a speed bump at 3,300, but I think 3,900, 4,000 gets hit inside of 15 months, maybe 18 months tops, like another year over year run where we're doing something larger like that. Call me crazy, but that's really what this chart is saying. Yeah. So in terms of everything that we've been looking at, like longer term stuff, guys, this is still, nothing changes for the longer term for markets, stocks. If gold's going to do this, which it is, there's a lot to be gleaned here. And the bigger thing is going to be, check it out. We're going to get 2-year yields out of the way. They have to start going lower. I mean, dramatically here. You're hanging up around 4%. I think that's completely overdone. And that's a 2-year yield. We're still looking for 3.25 minimum, if not under 3%. And it probably not going to give you, you're going to go through a lot of this because this is relatively high yields right here, but you're just banging against this 1618 right now. So I don't know why, to me, rates seem like they're being held up artificially. They just seem like enough time has passed. We're losing mojo here. That's a monthly chart, by the way. Okay, and weekly here. Coming out oversold right now, but we're still under the 50. We've been under the 50 for a while. Yeah, we have to change that. No, I hear that. It's still a negative. You're not going to get big movement, okay, until interest rate environment really changes. And at 4% or 4 to 4.5, I just think it's taking its time. Fed probably should be cutting rates now, but we've got to watch this. Really watch this setup. Under 3.5. I mean, that's where things really can finally come together, and then you get back to the easier rate environment. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, the QE, everyone's saying about the 2008 thing was all QE. Yes, it was. But it just kind of unlimited paper. And so what's coming? Why is gold running like it's COVID? I mean, gold has just continued. So, and why isn't Bitcoin running? So let's jump over there really quick, kind of keep it loose. I'll jump all over today. Bitcoin above 85, which is good. Holding 87. Weekly inflection trying to happen on Coinbase. Right here with HSI. So those are good early signs. I still say that this is a retracement where 1025 to 76.5 was a lot like what happened last year. It's just probably going to take more time. And yes, we said that last year. Really annoying. But I'm getting more constructive on things. I bought a little Ethereum. Yeah, I did. Bitcoin on the weekly, that needs probably 3 or 4 more weeks. But I still say daily time frame is easy to read because we're here. Look, there's the crab pattern that's been basically capping the whole action from last year. Now, are we done the retracement at 76.5? Just about. I mean, that was so close to being exact. We do have a dot. That's important. And the BTC futures. That's what we were going off of because that had everything. That had confirmation, crab, the whole deal. Target one. That target one. Interesting. Why was that target one? Why was that hop level? 105. 330. Maybe start looking at this. Hold on. What was the other? Nope. I think it was Bitcoin index. No, I'll stick with that. Regardless, hold on. This is not the right one. I have to get the right Bitcoin. There it is. Crab pattern at 78K with confirmation. Still in a target one. I don't know. I don't remember how we got on the futures contract. I think we're looking at different feeds and fell on the futures contract thinking it was a spot price. Again, the target was 76.5 for the spot price. On the futures charts, it was like 78, and they did hit. So here is still target one at 90,446. Call it 91K. That hasn't changed. Hasn't changed at all. Yep. What was that on the daily? Yeah, I'll get to that. So that's still all framework, weekly and daily. What needs to happen here? Time needs to happen. So retracement almost done. Okay. Bitcoin again. We're still on deck for 91K. I'd love to see some action though, but I have to. The way this is setting up, guys. And let me come back to this in a sec. Let me come back here to the spot in a second. Go to the daily. All right, so I want everyone to be ready for 91, 9049, 9446. It's going to matter. Okay, I would, what I'm really looking for is a big candle up. Something's coming. Something is coming, and I would like to see it smash not only target one, but smash above some prior readings. Good thing about where Bitcoin is currently, even though it's, look, we're day 14 or something, but we're now above the 50 level. Sometimes that building process is better than some reactive move. I'm just looking for the reaction. I'm just looking for the reaction into the 90s. And I'll deal with the rest later. So let me be clear about that. Same way we were looking for retracement to 76.5, reaction back to 91. As high as maybe 96, but let's stay 91. This thing needs to move. And it's still the whole cycle is Bitcoin cycle. You got to remember that. Let me see. Was it the market cap chart? Market cap. So Bitcoin market cap, I think it's a great chart, and there's pluses and minuses to having the multiple feeds of the same asset, but especially spot to spot, different spot charts, Binance, Coinbase. But here's the market cap chart. Bitcoin market cap. So confirmation that really was the signal back in January was 2.08 trillion. Let's learn from that. This has gone and done. I got to say, Bitcoin has had a remarkable run in terms of dot to dot behavior. Just go to the last four. That was Thanksgiving. Right there was Christmas. Bearish, pretty sloppy, looked like a breakout. Counter HSI, send it back into the zone. Okay, now double dot. Double dot plus 7, 8 sessions before it really started rolling over. Go down here, new bullish dot on Bitcoin at 1.52 trillion. Can we do the reaction specifically? 1.66 trillion and above. That would also set up, guys. So here's the thing of what I'm kind of trying to jump a step or two ahead in terms of the Bitcoin thinking. We saw it on another spot price chart. I'll get to that in a second. I think it was Binance Feed, but we are really close to generating a type 2 off of this initial crab here, somewhere up in here. Not to mention, that would be a type 1. We do not have any confirmation anywhere close, but if we decided to generate some confirmation, I'm just kind of on the fly here, especially going into April, people needing to pay their taxes. Yeah, I said it. People are going to need to pay those crypto taxes. You can file an extension, you should, but you're going to have to make the payment. You're going to have to be within the ballpark. I think it's like 90% or 80% of the tax liability. People are going to need some cash. So if we do that type 1 next few days, early April, and then we get some overbought, I would look for the reaction back down. So I'm thinking this consolidation behavior, especially where we are, type 1 to T1. T1 on the bullish, T2 return on the bearish, send us back up. Okay? Still up for the next several sessions. This could change, though. This could change. I want to be in front of it. Okay? Absolutely want to be in front of it. This has a lot to do with the things we talked about in the course, in the webinar from Friday. And so that's how we're kind of laying it out, because a lot of what we talked about there was going with the expectations within the pattern framework, which is there's a type 1 reaction. This was a type 1 reaction down here. Now we're going back for the return with a bullish type 1. But this would still need to be satisfied for the retest. And what's Bitcoin done? Has not been impressive. It has not been impressive since Thanksgiving, quite frankly. A lot of people are saying, yeah, it's been great the whole time. No, it's been really sucking wind since we all finished our turkey. So gold or BTC for now, I'd have to say gold is absolutely owning the storage of value space. Yeah, I mean, that's gold. You got to play that continuation. I'll tell you, the thing that I've mentioned before is the PAX G, which is the gold crypto, and USDC are probably the two of the best ideas out there. And PAX G had the same bearish pattern. And then look what happens when we go counter. And that was back at the beginning of the month. We talked about that going higher, 3,000. I mean, it's just ripping. It's tough to offer up a entry long up here at the moment, but geez, probably a great way to play gold with this crypto thing outside of owning it directly. I mean, pretty soon going to be people saying, not your bar, not your gold. Start touting gold bars. I don't know. I've thought about it, but again, I think Bitcoin's proven itself a bit more. But even for novelty stakes, silver bar is pretty cool. Yeah, we can look at silver. Silver's up. Silver's making move. But PAX G just continues to rock, and this has been a great crypto investment. And I think, if we're going to ride 4K, this might be a way to go instead of sitting in a lot of those T coins that aren't doing anything. Sure. What's up, Alec? I hear you. Alex saying he was going to get out of the weekly bearish divergence after last year's chop fest. Yeah, I think we all got caught in that last year. If that's what you're referring to, I did. It was not fun. Broadcom, how's that? Is that down today? Is that down back to the levels? We'll get to that in a second. Look, maybe I'm an optimist, but guys, I'm constructive on a lot of things. We got a lot of bullish patterns. And I'm saying the gold move is a good thing. Gold move is a good thing. It's not just, disaster indicator. Okay, and what it means is that you got it. For me, it says you have easy money conditions still persisting. I wish rates were lower, but gold is definitely this whole thing of holding dollars. I think that's changing. Okay, I know a lot of Latin American banks will just hold dollars because relative to those currencies, it works. But gold, yeah, we're gonna get a big story someday on gold that will explain a lot of this. But for now, here we are above 3,000 and change, almost 3,100 spot price, knowing that 33 is the next stop, and then nothing till like 4K. I think the very chance of this getting bypassed, you heard it here first. Sure. Really quick, total index, and we'll jump around. I do want to get back to some of those stocks, but total is putting in a dot just like Bitcoin this week. And I'll say this, look, there's nothing wrong with this weekly trend construction. In fact, it's rather ideal. And you've just finished the retracement phase of a beautiful weekly channel on total crypto index. What needs to happen? You've put that green candle in by Sunday night, you retest it next week, and then 2 weeks later, you've got 2 more green candles to give yourself a dot, just like here and here and here. So I'm not, I'm a little surprised by what's going on so far this year. Although we were looking for the retracement, it's definitely kind of lagging here. But I'm looking for things. I think we're entering, as I said last session, a window that's trying to open up. And so you're going to probably be a little early on anything, but I'd be looking. Remember what we said about, so check out OXO. I didn't do anything with this. I'm just kind of looking at it. And I mean, you just scratched the hop level at 6.7 cents. Confirmation came in on that bar. It was 6.2 cents. And even that microscopic move, it doubled. It doubled. What do you do with that? I mean, I think if it doubles in this environment, you probably need to sell half. Now you have a counter HSI probably going to come back down, but there are a lot of these situations where, am I going to ignore this because the last 2 months have been so disastrous? Maybe not. Maybe I should start looking. Start looking. Start. So I'm intrigued. I'll look at, you show me a couple coins, guys. Go right ahead. Let's do it now. And the first person to type in HPC30 will get you a Harmonic 30-day license to Harmonic Pattern Collection for TradingView. Also 30-day gold membership to our premium thread, and you'll get the recording of the session from Friday. We can get to Litecoin, absolutely. Rogelio, no way, man. You already won. All right, last time. Rogelio, don't you already own it? I'll do the first two, Rogelio and LC. Please, if you've won before, let other people come in. You guys know I'm easy going on this, but don't take advantage of me. I'm not saying you're taking advantage of me, but help a brother out. There's the Discord link. LC and Rogelio, you guys need to send me a message, DM, full name, TradingView username, and email address. If you have TradingView already, we'll get you into the gold membership for 30 days. Oh, I thought you were in there already, man. Anyway, let's get to a couple ideas. XLM. XLM's interesting. I started a position back in. It's not like the old days. Not like the old days, just sitting here. I'd still say 26.7 is valid. It's a type 2. I really have to get this thing turning up. Okay? Can we turn up on amplified for XLM and get to 35? 35.2, that's target 1. Although, yes, target 2 is 41.4. Got to get it out. And the other thing that we have to get out is the weekly. That's what's holding this up. Needs to turn up, needs to get above the 50. Where's the other? Because we're under the 50. And I'm more of the opinion that at best you're going to retest some bearish resistance around 40 cents. So 41's probably a hard out on that. Couple more. What's up, Lino? Let's look at GRT. It's been a while. Has this amounted to anything? Nope. Nope, nothing. I mean, it's such a shame. Is there anything, what I would like to see somebody do? Go to the offices of like the top 30 crypto, if there are even offices. Like, who's in charge of running like projects for Doge development, or who's GRT? Is there an office? Is there somebody working on projects? Is there a community? Stuff like that. Because this was supposed to be end all be all 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Here we are back at 10 cents. Don't want to trash it, but kind of have to in terms of where's the opportunity here. Is this even, the problem with a lot of these crypto markets is that they will do the push move 2, 3x and then come right back down. I don't have anything here. We need, like, XLM had perfect patterns, okay, and made a lot of progress, still holding recent gains. This is just right back down to not just lows for the year, but multi-year, 2023 type levels. And same could be said for H bar, which was supposed to be something massive. So far, you're right at that 618, like that. And unless anybody can supply me with a concrete business plan of what they're doing, that's actually like, how does this coin make money? You're at the all-time 618 is like right there, 17.7. I will say this, under 17, there will be nothing. I wish I had a pattern there. And again, we do have patterns and other things, but I would, that's not one of them. Couple more. Pi Network. That's something, I don't even have that on my list, although that did come across my screen. That Pi Network was doing fairly well. Didn't that jump into like the top 20? See, I don't even have it on my list here. 82 up. That's why. Okay, probably a lot of new listings. Pi Network came, went to $3. But what are we doing? Pretty clear. As some of the older ones. This is just an 886 reset, guys. You have to let this happen. There you go. I guess that was. Okay, the low. Well, whatever. I mean, I don't know. A fraction of a fraction, a millionth of a penny or something, or 100,000th of a penny. And then what was it? It went to 3. Get out of town. Regardless, I would just take the range like that. This is an IPO. This happens. It's so common on new coins, even IPO stocks. And then we could, think about something later. I did hear about that. It's just it's a first phase. Now 886 reset. Go through all your favorite IPOs. Most of the crypto, they all do this. Litecoin, what's up, Mr. Fear? Fear and obey. No thanks. No fear. I will not obey. Litecoin, Randy Hipper's favorite. Daily is a really nice, like it, bad pattern, but that's at 86, guys. Keep an eye on that. I mean, she's, we had an interview with her a couple weeks ago. She's really informative on like the stories and what's happening narrative wise. And I think it's always good to kind of hear it from somebody like that who's got their finger on the pulse of all of this. Litecoin, I mean, why not as a payment system, but at what price? I think it's either 86 or even 71. Let's see, where are we at with this? Get above the 50 and we could go. When she and I were talking a few weeks ago, it was 120. Here you go. Okay, weekly is just kissing oversold. So I'd look next week. No rush on any of this, guys. Couple more. Filecoin, Mr. Affairs. I'm scrolling back now. Why? Oh, okay, that's why. Thank you. That actually makes it a little bit better. Yeah. XA levels at 350. It's currently 299. The dot was yesterday. This is weekly. Sorry, dot was Sunday night. Open trigger of that dot was 283. 283 is a good number for me. It is a type 2, by the way, back here. All right, let's put our negative sentiments aside and let's just go off the framework. There's the T1. T2 signaled last week. I mean, check this out. Yesterday, we got the dot. So you're right there. It might take many days or weeks even. Look, last time we had a green bar check back. You go back August, and then it didn't do anything until November. So this is early, but this is exactly where you want to be. Can we retest 283? That's Filecoin. That's a great one, man. That's really and this is the kind of setup that I want to feature more for what we do here with our time. We're here twice a week, 12:30-ish. Okay, Tuesday, Thursday. We talk a lot of strategy, but real ideas, more and more is I want to outline, highlight, and feature stuff like this that, like, okay, we talk about things that happened, maybe things that have developed or developing, but here's a spot where it's right there. It's right there. And that bar, that just triggered Sunday night. So, okay, I will not cast dispersions, as they say. Cardano is another one where it's so close. But I think, we got to T2 some stuff. Can we T2 55 cents? It's with that just kind of beckoning so close. Now, if this thing holds and holds and Amplified decides to kind of make a higher push here, and we do that for a few more days, maybe I would say 65 cents. But that is a type 1. 55 cents seems to be firm. And the weekly, not there yet. The weekly's got to get above 52. Those are early. Those are some that are early. Others that are like right there. Yes. Solana. Sure. What's up, Neil? I'm just getting back to you. Solana's like this. Are we ever going to get to 105? 137. 106 is target 2. I need to see something definitive. And that's a counter HSI arrow. Solana should have done more. That's my opinion. Should have done more. It's 106. We were as low as 113, but 106 is really, that's target 2 on the weekly. And I would think that I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush at all. T1 to T1 dollar sign, that's all been registered. That's pure reaction. Your last green line bullish confirmation, I will say that's like 130. So if you're looking for an area to really wonder about Solana, maybe it ducks between 125, 130, but it shouldn't spend much time there. I would love to get a really concrete, like, bullish pattern, signal, oversold. Yeah, look, there's a 4-hour here. 4-hour chart. There's a butterfly right at the low, 125. Maybe the next dot. Let's look at 130 on Solana. I don't want to ignore this stuff. I think it's been beaten up. But you're really at a point where it's got to show me. You got to show me. SUI, that's the other one. Yeah, that's another one where that is. We're down there. 277. We were just $2. Okay. 205. Okay. It's a reaction shark. No confirmation. What do we do here? Yeah, we're probably going to get a counter HSI pretty soon. So again, reaction, just reaction. I know a lot of people like that one. Just reaction though. Oh, let me show you guys Ethereum. So, you know, right here, 2K, got to hold 1800. Really has to hold 1800 for the whole thing. And confirmation, it's not great because you've got this weekly thing. So keep an eye on weekly HSI. To retest that's like 1873. And we need to see progress. No rush on Ethereum. Like I said, I bought a little. I bought one. Literally bought one. I'd like to get like 10 if we're going to get that move. And it's really a daily. But I'm definitely not. I need to see more. I don't like the fact that it's just languishing down here. 1848 hop level. Got to stay above that 50. This has got to get above the 52 for Ethereum. All of that is still more work to do. And I think it's going to, at this point, not until we get out of the month. I don't know. A couple more. Oh, somebody wanted to look at FET. Okay. FET at 55. That's where we were on Tuesday. Now 54.23. So nothing big. Really nothing big on that. The weeklies like this. Yeah, we're not out yet. That's the thing. So we were saying FET at 55. It's 54.23. And a lot of this is going to go into next week. FET, HSI, has to come out of the zone. Has to. And probably still some more work to get done. 57, a great number. I mean, especially with FET having recently been above 250. Excuse me, 350. Amazing, a year ago. But that's going to take a long time. It's going to take many bars, many weeks to get out of here. And maybe this week you finally get a trigger of HSI. Could be next week. A lot of these are early. Some are better. Some are much closer than others. But you're kind of, all pointing to like maybe April. Here's Link. We'll get the arrow this week for sure. Coming out, that's a nice start. Last time we had an arrow was 12. It checked back to 9 and then did a nice move right back. It's a shame. That's something that, a crypto asset, people are saying, yeah, financially, Link is going to do X, Y, and Z. But, when's it going to make the monster moves? You go from 9 to 30 and then back to 12. It's just, and it's not the first, it's like the third time you've done that move. But we are here, Gartley, type 1. I do see this is something that's further along and, type 1. It is a type 1 there. 19.14. So better spot than a lot of others. But yeah, I'm expecting anything huge just yet. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Chris? You should have gotten everything, received it this morning from me. He wants to look at WIF sitting on the hop. That was another one we looked at. Where WIF is right here at 55 cents. We were as low as what, 42. I mean, that's, again, I'm not a fan of the space. I would want to see, there's a trend line getting violated. Hop level off the bat is at 55. It's currently 52. But yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying about maybe speculating on something that's scraping a bottom, but get HSI firmly and amplified. Get amplified to turn up 1 or 2 green bars. It's not going to take a lot. And certainly HSI wants to be moving in the up direction. I really want that. Again, there are a lot of things that are making me look at it like this is pretty interesting. I will say that even Doge, not that it's not that I'm liking this even as an idea, but it reacted. It did a reaction here from 14 and a half was to 20. It's a blip on what has happened because it was 50 cents down to that low at 14 cents. But that little blip, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say from there to there, it's a 50% move inside of 3 weeks of trading. Okay, no worries. But I'm looking at least it's reacting. I will say that. No confirmation, but at least it is reacting, and that's a good thing. 1 or 2 more. What's up, Pooji Whammer? ETH Bit, ETH BTC. Yeah, well, it's just Ethereum has been the absolute underperformer, especially the big ones. And look at what we do. Daily bearish dot to send it lower. That's not what you want to see after a swan dive like that. We have talked about this. It's a massive pattern. Even on the monthly, I'm pretty sure. That's the ETH Bitcoin ratio. Yeah, there it is. There's a Gartley on the monthly. Hop level at 1.974 cents, but you need confirmation. And so there's a great example of understanding when patterns fail, what they look like. I mean, early on. There's the T1 on the pattern, big red candles in. The next one's green, but by this following, you're already breaking down. By the second or third candle, good night. So that's still down. That would have to change. But that's not close. And yeah, here we are. I mean, this is monthly, amplified, deep oversold. You are, again, sometimes understanding what that's doing goes a long way to saying, okay, I'm going to probably need a month, maybe 2 to even get out of that hole. So if you're going to go long, at least against Bitcoin with Ethereum, don't be surprised if you're not doing anything till May or June. That's how I would read it. 1 or 2 more. Yeah, SHIB. I hear you on SHIB. I know what's there. SHIB has a nice pattern. I think it's even at a hop level. That's the monthly, but that's not what I'm talking about. Maybe it's been a little while. I'm probably thinking of something else. But yeah, there's a couple of things there. Shark, Bat. I think the weekly has, yeah, HSI. I mean, again, you're down here at 14 millionths of a penny, 0.00001415. And you were just under recently 0.000009 down here, almost. with a little pump. I think you're going to be spending a while, and even if you're lucky enough to get to 2252, that's probably it. I don't see big development here. Patterns weekly, yeah, but you got to get above 50. I really think you got to get Bitcoin moving to get other stuff like this anywhere going. Yeah, one or two more, one or two more, and there's I do need to look at really quick semiconductors, and I got to get out of here. Yeah, Nasdaq's off 70 now, and S&P's off 15. Not much difference. Kind of a slow day, which is all right. Just hold your head. Avalanche down here at 22 is intriguing, but weekly oversold. You're going to take some time. The recent low was 15. Wow. Wow. Monthly looks garbage. Daily time frame is, boy, look at that. The monthly, the daily is this long extended. I would have to say it is lost its mojo, but we have talked about 22 for Avalanche before. But this little reaction by Sunday night, guys, that's probably it for now. It's certainly not strong. I mean, we're going through a lot of these. Not constructive. Thanks, J Togs. You got it. He likes the update. Yeah, we got an update. Make sure you access the webinar. Yep. Yeah, Scott might sell his Ethereum after looking at that Ethereum BTC chart. I'm just looking for a reaction, but I need to see some individual bars. I just didn't even go on size. I mean, I want to nibble at it. Sometimes look, for me, sometimes either way, if I'm entering and I'm not super confident, but I like the setup, just go super small and see if it feels okay for a day, 2 days. I mean, here's Ethereum, okay? Down here, I've been talking about this since last week. And right back at 2K. How many more days do I have to give that? I mean, instead of just, I don't feel 1,000% about this just yet. I mean, we can get some progress, get this amplified above the 50 level. That would be great. But I look at it as the whole zone, 19 to 2160, anywhere in that area. If I'm playing against this zone and I'm looking for targets like T1, T2, okay. So if I'm 2K, 1950 or 2050, to me, I'm fine with that. And this was a 3-bar breakout. That was a 3-bar breakout. Just taking its time. But let's see. Like I said, next several days, I need to see more green than what has been offered for sure. Now, let's jump there. A couple more, like Tesla, yes. Guys, Tesla's back at 280. It was 290 again this morning after not then 10 days ago, we were trading 215 aftermarket. Daily Tesla, we have a counter HSI, but listen, we have responded off of this chart, off this bat pattern. I mean, I always said this is a great pattern. What does that mean today? It means we might need more time. Tesla target one off the bat is 348. We also know the crab on this is down here where 249 is big. But here you go. Talk about inflection on HSI. We have been waiting for that. There you go. So massive inflection. That's the kind of thing we need to see. That hasn't even registered yet. Not official. I'd love to see that finish strong this week and get out of the zone. Amplified certainly is. So more and more, this is giving us major weekly stabilization. I think the number in general is 249.54. And we still have plenty of time. A couple more weeks before a larger acceleration ensues, but let's use the daily. And let's just monitor on a daily. Can we get to 348 just off the daily bat? I'm going to watch. Be a T1. One or two more of those. I know I missed a couple. Somebody wanted to look at Target. I think that was Vegas. Target is a massive type 2, guys. Massive. Like, look at this. I know we're early, but check it out. Target Corporation. Big type 1. Come on back down. T2 has been generated. I need to see some confirmation. But there you go. There you go. A lot of patterns. Got a lot of patterns like that. Just need confirmation, and then we're good to go. Remember Caterpillar. So again, a couple other industrial stocks, 338. Weekly confirmations there, and then the daily is a type 2. Here. Type 1, sorry. But 336 right there is pretty much what we're looking for. Let me riff through a couple more of those. Taiwan Semi and Broadcom, Taiwan Semi. Okay, big numbers around 179. Hop level 168 off the Gartley. Is this a failure? I mean, counter HSI. What are we doing here? Where's the weekly? Weekly's not out. So, yes, I started a position there at 179. Didn't see it down today. I'm going to say, wait, don't add any more yet. I'm still okay with this, but we need a turnaround. It's kind of an ugly candle for today. 168.86, not a surprise. But counter HSI, that was yesterday. I didn't see that. Let's see what happens. 168's got to hold. And you're right at 168. Palantir, got to watch for the lower high here. Palantir it came back, filled the gap. No patterns, okay? I think on the 4 hour we had something down here. A shark, bat pattern, yeah. So Palantir, go off the 4 hour. I agree, it's probably some fertile grounds to be looking, but type 1, done. Type 2, you're 92. You're 92 here. Are we going to get the return to 78? If we're going to stick it to the framework, yeah. A lot there. Listen, here's Palantir. Look, it completed with a dot at the end of February, and then there's a counter HSI and took it down. It wasn't a big flush, but took it down to retest the number. Okay, maybe we do something like that. Come back for the T2. I don't think there's a reason to rush. Even at this point, with how the first 3 months of the year went, I would just be patient. I would be patient. We're not in a frenzied environment, are we? Nope, not crypto. Crypto cycle is not living up to what it should be doing at this point in the year. So that doesn't change until we see some dramatic shifts. Can you hear? You guys, let me know. My sound looks good, Claire. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's check up. Since that sound's working, listen, the next person to type in HPC 30, We'll give you 30 days to the TradingView software and gold membership, and you get access to the recording from last Friday, which was the course. Thank you. HPC 30. Let me know. Please, no one if you haven't won already. Let some other people win. Look, that's the big thing of where we are with all of this. A disappointing first quarter. It didn't do rockets. Floyd's Garage. Floyd, you win. Floyd, you gotta contact me on the Discord. Discord link is now in the chat. It's in the description and here in the chat. Anyone else? Okay, anyone else has a question or you want to get a recording, I'll send you the link, but you got to DM me in our basic Discord. Also, no solicitation. So if anyone send you a note, special offer, discount, whatever, okay, ignore it. And there have been fake profiles using my name, you know, and there's only so much we can do. Anyway, really quick, S&P, guys. S&P on the 4-hour. I wanted to bring this to your attention. We have HSI here on the 4-hour, and we have a shark at 58.34. Okay, but we're really close to trying to finish this type 1 reaction. We're here, 58.34. T1's 56.99. You're 37 at the moment. So what's going to happen? You have an HSI already. We're either going to get 2 green candles, and that will be today, this afternoon, and tonight. All right, so you're either going to print a dot and set the reaction, or full T1 retest. Still looking for that reaction, that secondary test. We have today, if tomorrow, y'all Monday, and then Tuesday you'll come in. All right, and trying to finish up the quarter, move into the next quarter, start April, and are we going to wash that out? Is that it? But that's the big pattern right now for S&P and NASDAQ. Literally right here, first level is 57.44. We're underneath that level. Again, for today's close, we're going to go in here, watch it. Okay, should not be taking out that prior close. You see us under 57.20 today or tomorrow. Full test of under 5,700. Got to watch this latest reaction. The fact that that was a shark on the S&P means more work to do. I like what's going on here, but again, we need to see some green. We keep sliding into the close. Be aware that 5,700, that's a massive level. Massive shark to 5.0 level. We'll have problems, okay, under 55.90. So before we were saying like 5,500, I'll bump that up 100 on the S&P. And in fact, we should not even take out much of 5,700 by the next time we come in here on Tuesday. Like Tuesday, by the time we get in here Tuesday, if we're plus minus 5,700, that's going to tell us a lot of what we're going to expect going forward. I know you got the big thing on April 2nd. That kind of a thing that's going to hang over the market. I think that's why you're not getting the full rebound. Everyone's so, I think they're not on point. Not all this narrative is just it. We've got big bullish patterns trying to play out at the moment. So let's give them a few more days. Yep. What's up, Chris? We already did Ethereum, and I already explained why I'm just lightly long. We need more work on all this. Couple green candles. Can we at least, like, S&P's off 15 at the moment? Can we get a rally 15 from current levels? Can NASDAQ's down 75? At this point, just we need some bullish closes. There you go for today, folks. 5-minute chart, 57.26. I'd say that 5-minute pattern's probably absolutely essential for the next several days. I wouldn't want to see under 57.14. Get the picture? Like, time's up. Time for progress. Plenty of time, but we're going to have to close the window if this thing is not going to progress over the next few days and print some green. Same can be said for crypto, but we haven't done anything dramatic just yet. Well, let's watch this. Yep. More time. Well, that's what I have for today, guys. Listen, everyone else, get over to harmonictrader.com. Get the 2-week free trial. Also, a lot of the basic member access is all you need for the resources I mentioned in Friday's session, like the cheat sheets and the books. And a lot of what we talked about was based off of the ideas from volume 2. So if you want to kind of brush up for confirmation, which is really what that session last week was all about, check that out. Okay? You have any questions, hit on the Discord and the link, or send me an email, harmonictrader@gmail.com. Until then, enjoy your weekend, spring break, whatever, and I'll catch you guys back on Tuesday. As always, go get them.